Hello there, my name is William Emmanuel, and my presentation is on Paul Nicklen. Now, he is a Canadian photographer who specializes in wildlife photography, especially in extreme environments. Um, the polar regions, more specifically, he's been featured in Nat Geo. He also has his own company called Sea Legacy, where he's focused on creating healthier, abundant oceans. He has received more than 30 of the highest awards given to any photographer in his field, including the BBC Wildlife Photographer of the Year and the World Press Photo Award for photojournalism. Extraordinarily talented artist and photographer. He's known for traveling to some really extreme locations and getting some pretty unique, cool shots, like this one of a blue shark. He doesn't name his pieces too specifically. He has a series of them on his website. It's all kind of within different subgenres. Like this is from a series of sharks. It's called a blue shark travels through shafts of light. I just thought it was a really beautiful image, the way all the lights were reflecting off of this different creature and how he was able to get such a high quality picture so up close. Next we have a mola mola relaxes at the surface, which was part of a more broad group of ocean photos. I thought this piece was really interesting just because of the creature that it portrays. I mean, the mola mola is already a very unique looking specimen, and this truly accentuates that. It almost looks alien-like, definitely not something you expect to see swimming around in the ocean. It's again super high quality, really beautiful picture from the water, which is, with the light in the background, really extraordinarily to look at. He's most famous for his polar bear works. This one's titled "A Curious Polar Bear Checks Out My Camera Trap." Clearly, he uses multiple ways to take his photos and traps, and it says he uses a Sony Alpha camera to take his photos. And I have a few polar bear photos in here. They're really beautiful and extraordinary creatures, and he's captured their energy perfectly. You can see here another one. This is, I think, one of his most famous photos, actually, of the polar bear swimming, kind of with the mirror and the water surface, is its titled. It's a really beautiful, powerful image. This one was featured in National Geographic. Again, this is one that stuck out to me as being really powerful, considering the fact that the polar bear's eye is so intense and gnarly, and the colors, especially how he plays with lighting in this piece, is really cool and special. It really brings out that sort of dark, evil energy in these bears. He accentuates their cuteness and whatnot, but this is kind of the opposite, the more raw, natural vibe that, polar bear is a bear, so he fixed that emotion very well in this photo. This is from a piece on glaciers, and almost abstract in its nature, although it is a photo, just a really powerful image. The background, foreground play, this water almost trails off like a path. Very, very pretty, beautiful imagery. And the valley almost on the sides. This is from another iceberg photo, which I think is one of his cooler ones. It reminds me of some sort of boat or vessel going through the ocean, although clearly it is a giant iceberg. He kind of talks about it in his titles. Again, they're basic, but tubular icebergs come in all shapes and sizes. It's clear to me here that he saw that boat-like shape, but also the kind of part of the iceberg that exists under the water, and it struck him as it strikes me, because it's very, just the angles and everything, such a powerful image. This was one of his more abstract images that I found, which really struck me, how the waves are crashing within the ice and the rocks. You can really see the movement in this piece, and of course it's extraordinarily high quality, and it's one of his more famous ones if you Google him, like that polar bear one that we saw from earlier. But I think the most important key aspects of this photo are how the waves crash on the different parts of the foreground and create these different sort of textures and gradients within the ice and on the rocks that are really unique to this photo. Or this was one from a series he did on whales, which was a newer series he's done. This was actually, I think, the first photo he captured in the series, and to me it stuck out the most as being extraordinarily incredible, just because of the imagery of the whales and the movement and the emotion, and how he was able to get so close. He's comparing it to a ballet within his title, and I really see where he's coming from. And I think it's just a rare sight to be able to see this many creatures, this mass in one photo, all about. It's a rare sight in the world these days, and it's a special image. Finally, I found his narwhal collection, which I found to be very fascinating, considering what a narwhal is and their status in the world, how, they're not extinct, but they're on the verge, and they're very special creatures, and the fact that he's been able to capture this many of them, and this image is just extraordinarily special. And I especially like this one, all of them stacked on top of each other while they're resting. I would have liked to see it in color, of course, but I do think the black and white makes it a special image. Here's another one of narwhal, sort of more up close, more high quality, again, color, probably from that same location you took the last shoot, but extraordinarily special creatures and uniquely built and for a certain life that is not very prominent anymore. Thanks for watching. These are the sources. It's been William Emmanuel. I hope you have a good rest of your day.